Hello, my name is Helen Neely. I have a background in trauma and emergency nursing, and I'm currently a school nurse with Greenville County Schools. The purpose of this video is to help you recognize and provide care for someone who may have a life-threatening bleeding. Uncontrolled bleeding is the leading cause of preventable death for a traumatic injury. It can take as little as 3 minutes for permanent disability or death to occur if treatment is not provided. It's important that your personal safety is addressed before providing care. Make sure the scene is safe for you to give assistance. Use gloves if they are available. I want to talk to you about the steps to control bleeding until advanced help arrives. It's called the ABCs of bleeding control. A, alert, call 911. B, bleeding, locate and identify the source of the bleeding. And C, compress, apply pressure to the wound. There are 3 ways to do this, in which I will discuss in more detail later. The first step in the ABCs is alert. Call 911, get assistance. B, bleeding. Identify the source of the bleeding and look at the wound. If you can't see the wound, then it may be necessary to cut away the clothing. You can recognize life-threatening bleeding by blood spurting from the wound, if there is clothing or bandages that are soaked by blood, part of a limb may be missing, or the person may be dizzy or unconscious due to blood loss. C stands for compress, and there are 3 types of compression: holding pressure on the wound, using a tourniquet, and packing a wound. For holding the pressure on a wound, you want to use your gloves. You visualize the wound that you are going to hold pressure on, and you get gauze or clean cloth, anything that you can find to put pressure over the wound. You put the gauze over the wound, and using a heel of one hand, press firmly, and using the other heel, you hold pressure until help arrives. The second method to control bleeding would be using a tourniquet. We have 2 tourniquets available for us in our schools, and I will demonstrate both of those. And tourniquets are used to stop life-threatening bleeding on an arm or leg. You want to identify your source of bleeding, and I will start with the cat tourniquet. You open the loop and put the tourniquet 2 to 3 inches above the wound, avoiding your elbows or your knees if it was a leg. You want to pull the strap tight on the tourniquet, and this will be painful, so you want to assure your person that EMS could give them pain medicine when they arrive. So you want to tighten the rod until it ceases bleeding. Put the rod into the C-clip. You can bring in the extra strap to secure it over the rod, and then put the Velcro strap over that and put the time that you place the tourniquet. If for some reason the bleeding has not stopped with one tourniquet, you may use a second tourniquet. And this is a soft Tee tourniquet that you will find in your bleeding control kits. With a soft Tee tourniquet, you can actually open it with this small clip and put it around the limb or under the limb. And for this, I will go as high up on the junction as possible and attach the clip, pull it tight, and then this also has a rod that you want to turn, but it has a triangle clip that you put the end of the rod into the triangle clip. On this tourniquet, there's a small white tab that you can write the time that you placed that. Never loosen a tourniquet, leave them intact until EMS arrives. The third method to stop bleeding would be packing the wound. On this method, you want to have gauze available, and using your finger, You want to pack the gauze into the wound until you meet resistance. You want to pack it down. This again is a painful procedure. Just reassure your person that EMS will be there. Pack it as tight as you can, and then whatever is remaining of the gauze, you can use that to put on top like a pressure dressing, using the heels of your hand to push down until EMS arrives. Life-threatening, uncontrolled bleeding can be deadly. By using the ABCs of bleeding control, anyone can save a life.